Hello, well, we are back from Gencon, and that took a while to get home. So we're going to talk about our biggest takeaways of Gencon. We're also going to talk about games like Finding Creepers, Rolling Realms Redux, Lord of the Rings Duel, Super Kawaii Pets, Chronicles of Light, and others. So now, without further ado, let's get started. Hello, everybody. I'm Joey Evans.
And I'm Alex Evans.
And we are back.
We are.
Here's the thing. Doing a podcast, we're like, okay, we're going to do it every 2 weeks.
Yes.
This would be easy. The whole idea behind this was obviously you get an extra week. So we had a week at Gen Con.
We did.
Okay? Mm-hmm. And then the whole idea was to get back.
Correct.
And then have a week.
Get back the Monday right after Gen Con.
Right after Gen Con. Mm-hmm. And then have a week to play games, things like that. Then roll into the podcast.
Yeah.
And have some games played. Well.
The
hurricane changed all that.
It did.
So, although it didn't hit us, it really affected our travel.
It
so,
did.
If you follow the Dice Tower, you probably know a lot of the kind of rigmarole that went into the travel. So, we'll get to that in a second. Rigmarole, is that a word?
Rigmarole, right?
Have you heard the word?
Yeah, I have heard that word.
In Australia, have they used that word?
I just gave him an eye roll, by the way.
Yes, you did. You cannot see that. You could probably hear the eye roll.
You probably heard it. Yes, you heard it.
So, yeah, that was... All right, so anyway, first off, we always talk about movies.
We do.
Because we have not been home much.
No.
We've been really at Gen Con. And then we were, you know what? Let's go into the travel thing.
Okay.
We were supposed to leave on Monday.
No, you were supposed to drive back Sunday.
On Sunday, right?
Correct.
I drove up with
the Dice Tower van.
Yeah, Tom, Chris, and Jason. I think supposed to come back. Then because the hurricane, everything just got thrown into just
chaos.
I was going to use rigmarole again, but it wouldn't work again.
No.
Anyway, so we're trying to figure out what to do. Roy has to come back, get his kids. Initially, he was going to fly back and get them, but now it's like...
He was flying back Sunday night.
Right. And then people that are flying back might be delayed till later, so I gave my spot in the van. That's a nice me, right?
That was a nice you.
I'm like, here you go. Here's a gift. You get to drive 18 hours.
You're welcome.
You know,
in the pouring rain, right?
Yeah, I hope he gets me something nice because that was really charitable of me. No, really, I enjoy the trips. Anyway, so our flight kept getting moved and moved, so we didn't get out till Thursday.
Well, yeah, we were at the airport Monday morning, ready for our flight.
Yes.
And then it was canceled.
We paid an Uber twice.
We did indeed.
We went to the airport to get our flight. It was canceled. Went back home. No, not home. We were staying at friends' houses.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden went back again.
Yes, because it said it was now happening at a later time. So we're like, we better go because we got to go.
And then it got canceled altogether.
And then it got canceled altogether. And then the first available flight, this was Monday, the first available flight they could get us on was Thursday.
Thursday, right.
It's funny how that math works.
And then they were going to try to, they said probably Wednesday night or Thursday morning. Wednesday night, they could have sent me to Baltimore to be in a layover to all this. I'm like, okay.
There's a lot happening.
I don't know about geography, but Baltimore?
Yes.
Not between here and there.
No. Makes no sense. Anyway, it was fun.
It was fun. We had some friends we stayed with up there.
It was nice. We got to spend some time in Indiana.
Yeah, but the sad part is all of my games, you know, everyone puts their big Gen Con haul photos on Facebook, right? They're like, look at what I bought. Woohoo! And you know what? I say that because I like to do it too. But all of my games were in the van.
All of my games were in the van too. I put all of the stuff in one suitcase, which I will never ever do again, by the way. I've learned my lesson.
Yes.
They're all sitting in Miami waiting for us.
I know. And my van is in Miami too. So we have not had my van or my games. More importantly, my games.
Yeah.
So we were the only games I had with us were the games our friends had. And also the games that we were given on that last 2 hours.
Yeah, those 2 hours.
And to take a look at later, right? And I'm not going to say what games they are, but they're not winners. All right?
Yes.
I'm going to say that. So
the exhibitor booth was closing up and people just came by giving you games.
Yes. So, hey, take a look at this. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then little did I know that I will be playing that game later.
Yes.
You probably will never hear about that game.
No.
That is my gift.
For sure.
Yeah. So anyway, played some of those games, but really we're up there just biding time.
Yeah.
But hanging with friends, which was nice. Which we
it was
never
really,
get a chance
it was
to
really nice to do. Yes.
Yeah, we did have our daughter say she's like, I want to live in Indiana. And we were like, why?
Yes.
She's like, because we don't do anything here.
Yeah, we just can, have time.
Yeah, we just sit at home. I'm like, first of all, I felt guilty. I'm like, we need to sit at home more. Mm-hmm. So anyway, okay, so going to that movie-wise, up there, for some reason, they have a theater in their downstairs basement.
Which they have a basement.
Yeah,
Lucky.
first of all, jealous you Northerners with your basements. Basements are awesome. It's
They're
like
amazing.
An extra size of your house that you can play with. So we watched Maverick in their theater downstairs.
We did.
And I'm not going to go through Maverick again. Maverick is incredible, even the fourth time you watch it.
Correct, it is, yes.
And our 7-year-old was this is the third time she's watched it. She was just enthralled
She
the
was
whole time.
engaged the entire movie.
I mean, it's so good.
It's a great movie.
So, but then next week we are going to see Alien. I think Romulus is the new one, right?
Yep. I actually don't know the name of it. I just know it's a new Alien.
It's a new Alien.
Is it Prometheus?
No, Prometheus I think has already been out. I think it's Romulus. I don't know. The new Alien movie coming out next week.
All right.
And we're going with our game group. And so we thought, we haven't seen Alien for a while.
No.
So we went back to watch, they say watch Alien, Aliens, and AVP.
Okay.
And so we watched Alien.
Yep.
And Alien holds up.
Oh my goodness.
Surprisingly.
It really, really holds up, even though the special effects are not what they are now.
They're not.
But it doesn't matter.
No.
It almost is better watching it this way because you see, the what is it, the shuttlecraft landing on that planet.
Right.
And you see all of that, and it looks incredible. They did a great job. It looks amazing. I love seeing all the lights go on. The air kind of shooting from the shuttlecraft looks amazing and everything like that. So that they did a great. That is a great movie.
It's great, and then it goes into like all the stars. People know Sigourney Weaver and Tom Skerritt, but then I didn't know this. Veronica Cartwright.
Yes,
she plays in there. She was in like a who's who of horror movies.
Correct. She's like a horror person for sure.
Like Witches of Eastwick, which were probably the least of hers, but then also The Birds.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, right?
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
So all these, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty incredible.
She was great.
And also, it's been so long since we've seen Alien, we forgot most of it, right?
I forgot everything.
Like, at the end, when she gets on the shuttle and she blows it up in the spaceship, I'm like, wow, that was pretty uneventful. I thought, there'd be a bit more of a final battle. But then it went on and on. I'm like, hold on a second. Hey, also, I'm spoiling this for you guys, but it's 40 years old. So
you've had a chance to watch it.
Yeah, this is on you. So anyway, Aliens is getting next. We're going to watch that this weekend, and then AVP. AVP we've watched several times, but we're going to watch it again because
it's awesome.
AVP. So that's it. So now we're going to talk a little about.
Did we talk about how they don't do suspense like that anymore?
No, they don't. And that's what we did mention, because they don't show the alien a lot in Alien.
It's not for a while till you actually see the full grown alien. But the suspense, you see the skin, right? And that suspense of, okay, you think maybe he's a little bigger. You don't expect this huge guy. Like, the suspense and the buildup is phenomenal.
It's so good. And because they love to lean on their CGI. They're so proud of their CGI and their special effects now. But, I mean, Hitchcock and honestly M. Night Shyamalan to a point, they both had this idea that whatever happens in your mind is scarier than whatever could happen on screen.
Correct.
And I think that goes back to like reading a book, because everyone reads a book and in your mind you create this image that is either happy or terrifying for you depending on what you're reading.
Yes.
And that's why a movie will never live up to that book.
Yes.
Because your mind is far more creative for you than any director could be.
Oh, absolutely.
So Hitchcock and M. Night Shyamalan, early, really leaned into that too. And I think this does it too. They show the alien when needed, but the rest of the time, it's a shadow.
Like, the first time that the alien attacks, you see it in the cat's reflection.
Right.
The reflection of the cat's eyes kind of thing, Like, that's pretty powerful, You're like, okay, what's happening? But you're seeing it from the cat,
Yeah, that cat is a boss, by the way.
Yeah, how she throws that cat carrier down, and yet the cat's still okay.
Right?
I'm like, wow, that is a brave cat.
Cass, he lost like 8 lives.
He did, indeed. Yes.
So, all right, anyway, so...
Okay.
So Alien, that's a movie we've seen.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go into the trips. We're going to Gencon. Okay, let's talk about some of these things that happen at Gencon.
Okay, let's talk about Gencon. Let's do it.
So on the trip up, I got to tell you that it was, we're driving all night, the first night, and we stop at this hotel, and it's in the middle of nowhere, right? Because we're going to play games at Level Up Game Store. And so we just get a little hotel. on the side of the road. Thought, oh, this is cute. And so it's it's Jason and Tom in one room, and Chris and I are in the other room.
Yeah.
So we go in, and this is not a great hotel, folks. So lower what you're thinking in your mind. You're probably thinking like, the Ritz. I know you're thinking, oh, it's Joey stays at the Ritz.
Yes.
No one is thinking that. But anyway, it's a pretty rough hotel.
All you really need is a bed to sleep in because
That's
you're going to keep driving. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You
I
waste
understand.
money otherwise. We don't need a gym. Really, ever. So anyway, so we're there, and so anyway, we start unpacking, Chris and I, and they go right to sleep in their room, Jason and Tom. So then we start, Chris finds a spider. We're like, okay, we'll kill the spider.
Of course.
He finds another spider. It's like, okay, another spider, and we kill that spider. And by this time, we found like 4 spiders, and we're like, you know what? Now we're going to actively just double check about this whole spider situation.
Correct. Yeah, for sure.
So we start killing spiders. More spiders. Then we just eventually say, this pillow is going to be the spider pillow. So we just start killing spiders with this pillow. And at the end, we have killed probably 3 dozen spiders.
Oh my
right?
goodness, yes.
Everywhere. So I'm like, phew. And then we're sitting there, we're like, man, I just don't know if I can sleep in this room.
Yeah, right?
And it's like probably midnight, 1 a.m. at this point.
Yeah.
So we then call in. So we're like, we got to call the front desk and ask this guy to come in and switch us rooms. And the guy at the front desk comes in, and he's probably 13 years old. I mean, there are some laws being broken here. The guy is there. So we're like, okay. So he comes in, he goes, yeah. So Chris is like, okay, look, we found spiders over here, points to the back of the room.
Yeah.
And then we had found a lot of spiders right here in the front, in the front area. And then he goes, okay, well, he's like, here in the front, he goes, this is fine. This is like the common area. That doesn't surprise me. But over there, that's unacceptable. And Chris and I both look at each other like, the common area. Is this like where they all come and have coffee? Mm-hmm. So then this
Have
guy,
breakfast together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's like, he's like, okay. He goes, yeah. He goes, it's the rain. They bring the spiders in. He goes, and this morning, in my room, I found in the corner this big, well, I won't even tell you. And I'm like, wait, what? And he stops and doesn't tell us. And Chris and I are like, we both kind of want to know, but we don't want to know.
Yeah, right.
Then we also realize this guy is living here, right? So he moves us to a different room, and we go to a different room. We tried to tell Tom and everybody, we'll be gone when they wake up.
Yeah.
They might just think the spiders ate them and ate us, and they'll just have to go on to Gen Con without us.
Uh-huh.
So we go this next room. We only find 2 or 3 spiders. We're both laying in bed before we turn the lights out, and I look over at Chris, and he's like, he just all of a sudden like slaps his hands together, claps.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, got one. And it was one spider that was coming down the ceiling. And then we go, well, good night. And we go to bed.
Wow.
So, earlier than that, Tom was like, you know what? Let's get up early in the morning and leave early in the morning, like 6. And we're like, we might want to sleep in. We did not want to sleep in.
No.
Just so you know.
No, you were ready to get up.
I really was.
I'm almost surprised you just didn't knock on the door and just wake them up and say, we're just driving through.
First of all, waking up Tom and Jason is impossible.
True.
Yeah, so we just had to suck it up. And
did you guys have the van key or did they?
We did.
Okay, so you could have slept in the van.
We about drove to Georgia. Is what we about did. So anyway, so we stayed arachnophobia room.
Wow.
So that was very exciting on trip up.
That was very exciting.
Yeah. So
wow.
All right. So now let's go into some games. Now we're going to go into our top takeaways from Gen Con, but we're going to go into a few games.
Okay.
That we played. Now, first off, are some games that I demoed before. I demoed this game at Dice Tower East, I believe, only because Stefan, the guy from he's from like I don't know, like every game company on the planet, pretty much. But he had it with him, and I'm like, ooh, I want to play this. And it's Lord of the Rings: The Duel from Middle Earth. And this, I'm talking about it because they had it out for demo at Gen Con. They weren't supposed to, and it wasn't out the whole time. I really think it was out because Stefan had it with him and decided to put it on a table. And people were clamoring to play this game. So
it was out for demo the whole time at Gen Con? Or
not the whole time, only a day or two.
Okay.
So, which was weird because I walked by, I'm like, well, that game's not supposed to be here. Which I'm glad it was, because this game is ridiculously fun.
Yeah.
It is like Seven Wonders Duel, I believe. Mm-hmm. And any of those dueling games. But as you do it, you're going to slide these little acrylics, and you get closer and closer to the end, but you have 2 acrylics that overlay each other. One is the ring, and the other is the ring wraiths. I think I remember that right. But anyway, so you are advancing, and the ringleaders are trying to catch you before you get to the end. And that just itself makes this fantastic kind of give and take in this game. I'll go into a deeper dive later, but this is one to keep your eye out for.
According to Google, it's available now, but don't quote me on this.
Yeah, no, it is not available now. I have no idea. Hopefully it's soon, because what they have out is it's not really prototypey. It's really nice. So let me see. I have no idea when it's up for.
The publishers are Repose Productions, Gem Club, something, Rebel.
So, yeah, this is one. If you guys like 2-player games, this is one definitely to take a look at.
Yeah.
So, and then I'll talk about another one that I didn't, I got to play quickly, but I'll do a bigger review later when you and I both play it. And that is Rolling Realms Redux. On the channel lately, we've been doing this, kind of going through all the Rolling Realms expansions.
Yes.
So Redux is kind of like them saying, okay, we're gonna give you Rolling Realms, and now it's kind of more compatible for, or like, I guess the instructions, I think they might include some of the past ones and whatever, but it also has 12 new realms, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And this was great. I ended up playing it with people that had never played Rolling Realms before. And at first, I wasn't sure if they liked it.
Yes.
But ended up, I saw they bought it the next day.
So first of all, I'm really jealous you played this, because this was actually on my Gen Con pickup list.
But it was sold out when you went, right?
Yes, because I'm an idiot. I went the last hour of Gen Con. Forgot about it. I could have gone the first 3 days. They sold out the second last hour of Gen Con. And I went the last hour of Gen Con.
You really did. And I don't know why you went the last hour.
Yeah, because I forgot. There was a lot going on at Gen Con. But when I heard you guys played this, I was like, oh man, I want to play this game. So this is actually on my list of games to order this week, actually. Yeah. I am excited to play this game. The people you played this game with, their first time they'd ever played a roll and write was the night before.
Right, which we're going to get to that in a moment, too.
Yes, but that's just some context right there. So they're very new to the roll and write kind of world. And they had a great introduction with the games that they played. Mm-hmm.
Right. And then, the thing is, Rolling Realms, the first one, I think is fairly simple with the realms included.
Yeah.
Rolling Realms Redux, the ones that are included, you know how every time you make new things, you get a bit more complicated? It's not overly complicated, but a lot of these were like, oof, I don't know if I made a mistake or not.
Yeah.
So, but they got it and they liked it.
Yeah.
But they were a bit more complicated than the Rolling Realms at the beginning.
Yes.
Right? I think it was like a dog park. I forgot which ones were included, but these, let me see here. It's actually Dog Park. Oh, Rock, Paper, Scissors, which is pretty interesting. They make like a Rock, Paper, Scissors game that goes around.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Tidal Blades, Wonderland's War, Meadow, Legacy of You, Flamecraft, which is cool.
Yep.
And Planet Unknown was another one.
Okay.
That one was very hard. That was like a very polyomino style thing to do. And that was very interesting. But it's cool because it has a lot of different mechanics. So if you love Rolling Realms, you will love this one. But being new to Rolling Realms, this is a hard place to start.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yes.
Because these are pretty far down the rabbit hole. But maybe I'm wrong, because the people we played with loved it.
Yeah, and then, like you said, they bought it the next day.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have to get more plays in of this to get my real thoughts out.
Sure. Oh, well, I put me up there for the playing with you.
I will play with you. I guess.
Woohoo.
So, okay. All right. Anyway, so now we're going to go into... one game we've been looking forward to for a while, Finders Creepers.
Yes. This game is so much fun.
This game is a blast. And I was happy to see, they had a small booth there.
They had, by the way, the tiniest booth I've ever seen.
But they used every inch of that
They
booth.
did a fantastic job.
They
Can I tell you,
decorated it?
I saw so many people walking around with this game at Gen Con.
It sold out every day, early.
Yes. First of all, they sold it for a ridiculous price. I heard someone say they sold it for like $18.
Yeah, it was
They
cheap.
had yes.
But they had which is the opposite of Gen Con. Usually you sell it for more,
Yes.
but they wanted to get these out. Mm-hmm. Because it's a great game.
It's a fantastic game. Yeah.
So Finders Creepers used to be called Haunt the House. They actually had a Kickstarter. It didn't fund for some reason, and which I thought was just mind-boggling because it was such a great game. They got funding, and now they're back with this Finders Creepers. It's available, by the way. You can buy it at Target, places like that.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned it last week.
I think we did.
Last time on the podcast, and people have messaged saying they picked it up.
Yeah.
So Finders Creepers is one that you have augmented reality, and you are looking down at the board, and you see monsters kind of rise up out of there.
When the monsters rise up, that's when then you need to grab your device.
Right. And then you see them walk from room to room.
Yes, it's awesome, and you got to catch them.
Yes, and then and then they go in and they go back down. So now you have to remember where the monsters are
Yes.
and bring the weapons that defeat each monster to each room.
Correct.
And know then like activate. Say, are they in this room or have they moved?
Yeah.
All right. Then at one point they go through your house. They'll get off the board and they'll run around, and that's when you pick it up and you kind of shoot around the house.
Yeah.
Pushing the buttons down to shoot those monsters, which is really cute.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they had this at West. They had a booth at West, and
we saw
Jason Levine and I played this forever, and
Yeah.
you guys played this
Yeah,
forever.
yeah.
So it's a really great one. This one I really recommend. So if you have a family, honestly the play group, it's a lot of fun, and it's a very low price point. I think it's like $20 or something.
Yeah, no, this game is really great. I do like the combination of using the devices to actually defeat the monsters, but yet you playing the board game to get all the stuff that you need,
Right,
and then
right.
that's really fun too. I like how they have those. The combination is really great.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it. Now, the other one, Super Kawaii Pets.
Yes.
This is one you had played before, right?
I've played this too. I played this one at East, and I actually picked up a copy of this at Gen Con because Juliet wanted some light card games at Gen Con,
Right.
and there's so many heavy games out there that are card games, and I thought this would be a good one for her to play. She has not played it as of yet, but
No.
I am excited to play this one. But this is first of all, the artwork is adorable.
Artwork is so cute.
Yes.
This is by Arcane Wonders.
It is, yes,
And this is a just simple card game.
yes. Yeah, I think it's just a fun game. The idea of making, turning the animals from sad to happy is so sweet. It's like, oh,
It's great. You just have, you kind of recipe fulfillment. You have to get the cards and make these animals turn from sad to happy. And then once you have these happy animals, then you can grab a home, and the homes will give you different victory points. A home might be made for 2 dogs, or a dog and a cat, or 2 bunnies and a dog, whatever, right? But the longer you wait for that home, it could go to someone else.
yes,
Kind of not really the royalty and splendor, but it gives you that feel. It kind of simplifies all of these bigger games.
yes, it
to
does.
Me,
Yes, because the idea of because you can do. I call it the Gizmo thing. You know how you can have one in your reserve at Gizmo
Right, yes,
archives
the
at
file.
Gizmo.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. You can put one card away. I believe it's one.
Yeah.
In kind of your file archive area kind of thing. So when you were ready to play, you can pull it out. I kind of like
which
that.
you have your hand too that you can drop down.
Yeah.
So it's really good, and the actions are very simple. You know what you can do. You can grab the cards, but then, it uses decisions that are interesting decisions to get them. And I don't like the word crunchy, but it's more family crunchy. It's kind of decisions you have to think about. Which animals to get, because
Yes.
some animals give you more victory points, but other animals, when you make them happy, when you get them, they will give you an ability to get another card.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the game ends when you have a certain number of cards in front of you, including people and houses.
Yes.
Happy animals and houses.
Yes.
So not people, but happy animals and houses. But so that it really it puts in that decision making thing that I really like.
Yeah, I know. I really like that too.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a great, quick family game, this is it. Super Kawaii Pets. And again, the artwork is stinking adorable.
Oh, it's so cute. Yeah.
So cute.
So cute. I kept calling it Kwame, and Julia kept correcting me. Kawaii.
Oh, Kwame's that...
from Miraculous.
Yeah,
Yes,
Ladybug
I kept
had
saying
one.
that, and she's like, no. I'm like, you're right. I have the name wrong.
Yes.
My bad.
Yeah. So, okay, so anyway, so then also you took a look at Chronicles of Light.
I did. This is the new Ravensburger game. It's a Disney game. It has 4 characters who are Belle, and then you have the lovely girl from The Incredibles, Violet, I believe is her name. And then you have Moana, and you also have another character that I don't remember, but she's from The Fox and the Hound, I believe. I've never seen that movie. It needs to be on my list, by the way.
It looks like the girl, the Incredibles girl.
Yeah, the Incredible Girl, and then the other character is from Fox and the Hound.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I just demoed this game real quick, and I played a couple of rounds of it. It is a cooperative game. I really enjoyed it. I think this is definitely a family weight cooperative game. I think it's lighter than what you would see in like a Marvel United cooperative game.
Right.
But I really did enjoy it. You're kind of fighting against the darkness that can kind of overtake things, and you've got to do that. You've got to do some teamwork. You've got to use your special abilities. But it's definitely just a fun. This was just a fun cooperative game. for sure.
It looks really cute from looking at it.
Yeah.
Now, the artwork is one of those, it's a little bit unique of an artwork.
Yeah,
It kind of has...
like that stained glass kind of feel to it.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's
like,
very different.
It is different. I kind of like it, actually. But no, I played it. Juliet played a couple of rounds of this. I only played one round of this. But no, I really enjoyed it. What I played of it. She would have probably played the whole game.
Right. Yeah.
But I think we demoed it one day at the end of Gen Con when the booth was about to close. So we had to kind of hurry up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is one we'll look at later and do a full review.
Yeah, this is also on my list of games to get this week.
Yeah, I would. We'll be spending a lot of money this week, apparently.
Surprise!
Let's find that out. So that's Chronicles of Light. And that's why Ravensburger, which, they were killing it.
Yep.
So good. All right, so now those are just a few games, and we are going to talk about our biggest takeaways of Gen Con.
Yes.
One thing we're not going to do is talk about the biggest games out there. We'll mention those.
Yep.
But more of the biggest takeaways, what we enjoyed, all this about Gen Con. Because
Yes.
we're seeing a lot about Gen Con out there from people that went and people that did not go.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody gets something different out of Gen Con, which is the way it should be when you have some convention made for 70,000 people.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Yes, for sure.
So first off, the hot games. Hot games were, let's see, Far Away was hot from Pandasaurus.
Yep.
Rock Hard 1977. That was insane.
That was crazy. What was it? The second day of Gen Con, I get a message at 6 o'clock in the morning from someone waiting in line.
Yes.
At the DeVere booth. I think she was second in line, she said.
Yes.
Yeah, waiting for Rock Hard.
Well, not at the DeVere booth.
No,
but
she was
outside.
in their little room.
Right.
Because they were selling
yes,
it in
that's right.
two different places.
That's right.
Yes. But yeah, she was waiting outside their room for the sale for the day.
Yeah, and Jackie Fox was there actually signing autographs, and and she was so personable and great with people. So
Oh my goodness, she was amazing.
She was great, which makes you very happy for her. I have not yet played the game. I know they played at the studio this week.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. We have a copy, so we're looking forward to have that hit the table.
Yeah.
But that was a hot game.
That was for sure a hot game. Yeah.
And also Comic Hunters.
Yes.
Comic Hunters, which is funny, it's an anomaly because that's the whole thing Gen Con does to you. You want to say you're getting this at Gen Con.
Yeah.
Because Comic Hunters was literally available at Barnes & Noble.
Correct.
You could go to Barnes & Noble and get it, but people wanted to buy it there.
I believe there was a Barnes & Noble close to Gen Con because I saw some people, at least on the first day, walking around with Barnes & Noble bags, and in their bags was a Comic Hunters.
Yes. Now, after Gen Con, all the Barnes & Noble there were gone. We're out.
Within like a 20-mile radius of me,
Right,
too.
yeah, people just went to get it. But I think they also had some promo cards there.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But that line, the initial burst was just, it was
crazy.
Ever.
Yes.
You know, because you get there, you're like, oh, the line's only 10 people. Like, well, no, because we split for the aisle.
Yes.
And it continues there, then there.
Then they wrap around the booth. How they manage a line, by the way, is incredible. Gen Con has line management down.
They do.
Yes.
They do. That's
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, so that was huge. The Clank expansion, Clank Catacomb expansion was big. Rolling Realms Redux, I guess. Apparently that sold out on the last day.
Yeah, I know.
Let's
So
go to
sad.
Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, that was big. And another one that was interesting was Sky Team.
Yes, that was,
Sky Team. And especially the fact that because the Dice Tower Awards, which we'll talk about as well, the Dice Tower Awards, Sky Team in every category it was in, it cleaned up. You know, I think it won 3 or 4 awards. So winning that many awards has people go, okay, I need to look at this game.
Yeah.
And rightly so, because Sky Team is great.
I've not played it yet.
Yeah, we need to play that. Sitting on our shelf to play.
Yeah.
You would love it. So Dice Tower Awards.
They were on Thursday night.
They were. So we kind of started up on Thursday and rolled the Dice Tower Awards. And after that, you can kind of breathe a little bit. So Dice Tower Awards, Alex and I presented which one did we presented?
I thought it was best.
Theming? No, that was.
No, like
whatever. My mind's at a blank, but yes.
Yes.
Yeah, reprint.
That one.
Best reprint.
Yes, thank you.
So anyway, we had Alex and Meg. They actually
Not
were
me,
there.
Alex, a different Alex.
Yeah, different Alex from Board Game Co. He was there and presented, and then I think Ryan and Bethany, Grant. So it was really good. We had almost
Stella too.
It was you had Stella there too, and Grant. No, and yeah. So anyway, it was like packed. The whole room was packed.
Yes.
And what's great is to see all these publishers come up and get these awards. And Earth won Game of the Year.
It did.
Which I'm glad, because Earth was one of those games that was released earlier in the year.
This was back in 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of, this is the first full year
Yes,
it's been
yes.
out, which is why it's eligible.
Yes.
But it's kind of like, okay, some people kind of play Cult of the Now, and they might have forgotten how Earth just really changed the game
It did.
when it came out.
For sure.
Earth was like, everyone needed Earth. They were, I mean, I was at the park, and I saw 5 people wandering around, and they were just looking for Earth. So that's how big it was. So I'm glad for that designer, too, to win that. So Dice Tower Awards were great. We had some great skits and all that. So that was fun. Also, at the Dice Tower booth, we had the photo booth.
Yeah.
Which the photo booth was neat. We used it at East, and I think it worked out really well. That when we take photos of people, we'd step in front of the booth. So we had a lot of those photos that are now
I think that was
available
really fun.
in a gallery that we're going to make into a slideshow eventually.
Yes.
So, yeah, and that's... So, okay, other takeaways from Gen Con. First off, I think DeVere's booth was killing it.
Yes.
DeVere had, obviously, Rock Horror, but they also had Cities.
Yes.
So they were just killing it through there.
I only walked by their booth that last hour because they're right by where Stonemeyer was. So I saw them when I was, sad after not getting Rolling Realms Redux. But anyway, I saw their booth. And one thing I really liked is that they had, like, lots of specials. They did a really great job of that. I thought that was really great. I actually looked at the games that they had left and, contemplated some. But I knew at this time we had a space limit, so I reined myself in. You'd be proud of me.
Yeah, DeVere does a good thing because their games are they're really good.
Yeah.
And they do a good thing on, like, packaging some of their older games. When I say older, maybe a year or two,
Yeah.
right?
That's what I mean. Like, like Castle Party and a couple of other games that we had, they had, like, a package for those. And I was like, that's a good. I liked what they did with that. That was great.
Because these games are still great.
They're still a great game, for sure.
Castle Party's still on our shelf.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I like when they kind of do that,
Yes.
to keep people engaged.
Yeah.
So then also food trucks.
I love the food trucks.
You got to eat there more than I did.
I try to eat there at least once a day.
You really did. And
I did. I ate there at least once a day.
How do you think the new location is doing for food trucks?
Oh, it's so much better than the old location.
Okay.
First of all, there's an eating space there, right? Which this year they actually put a cover over it. Last year they just had tents out in the sun. This year some of it was covered. Yep. I wish they would extend the covered area for next year because it was really hot this year. But I found that the lines they were long lines, but they're not like the lines were crisscrossing each other like they were in previous years.
Right.
So I do really like this new location a lot. I think it's great.
I agree. And they had a lot of different food trucks. They had the ones that are always there, but they had new things. Mm-hmm. It was so wide. I heard I never went between like 11 and 1. They said during that lunch hour it was pretty rough.
I did go there once at like 12.
And it was long lines? For
sure, yes.
Okay.
My secret is when there's a long line, you just go to the pizza line because that does move the quickest.
It does.
So I did eat a lot of pizza.
Yeah,
and their breadsticks were amazing. But yeah, that one. My other favorites that I like to go is I really like the noodle truck too. But I only went there the first night because that was when the line was the shortest, and I think the last night when the line is the shortest too. That's when I went to the noodle truck. But they always do a great job with the food trucks. I like how when the food trucks kind of get involved in Gen Con, like we went to the cupcake food truck a few times. I think it's called Flying Pig. And they had like several they had like a Scarlet Witch red velvet cupcake that was a Gen Con exclusive, and they also had like a D&D chocolate chip cupcake too. That was, So I like it when the food trucks kind of get involved, do like a funny name or whatever, like I do like that.
It could be the exact same food.
Correct.
You just change your menu.
Yeah.
That shows you put some effort into it.
Yeah, I do really like that.
First of all, the entire city does that,
True. And Indy does a great job of that. When we're leaving at the airport, a week after Gen Con had ended, there was still signs about Gen Con.
Yeah, and like the bars and the restaurants there had Gen Con like themed foods. Mm-hmm. This is at the airport.
Yes.
These gamers probably see twice at most when they come in and come out. Mm-hmm. But they knew this is a huge influx of cash into our area.
I even loved how our hotel, the Hyatt, we were staying on the Hyatt Regency, and they had like a special like soda package, and they had a mug for it, right? And they got involved in that. And then they had like a photo booth, and their regular water that they had stuck like colored lights in it and colored it so it was like dragon's breath and something else water. Like I like how everybody gets involved in this.
Yeah, and this is something that Alex and I, with doing these illusion shows and stuff, we do so many events at resorts.
We do, indeed.
So we pretty much live at places like the Ritz, Hilton, all these things, and they do these big corporate events. And everyone that you see there is always dressed, and you guys probably noticed it too, they're always dressed to the nines.
Yes.
You know, they look very presentable and all that stuff.
Yes.
And they're like, and then when you walk out, because we go to these back rooms, these resorts, there are these signs to these people that say, smile, you're on camera. Meaning camera is the people.
Yes.
And they have mirrors as you walk out that you have to look and kind of say, okay, do I look presentable?
Yeah.
Whatever. So I say that to say the fact that I think we're at the Hyatt this time, right? The Hyatt, instead of being dressed in nines, these people were in D&D shirts.
Correct.
You know, and all the same D&D shirt that looked nice, but it was like, hey, we know Gen Con is here. We're going to appreciate it.
We're going to embrace it. And I definitely felt that. I felt like they really had done a great job, you know, just accepting it, you know. It was awesome.
They closed down one restaurant, and then you could kind of go and eat there and play games.
And do open gaming.
You do open gaming. So it was very interesting. It was funny. There was a glass window there, and we were playing games with Tom, and people would come by and not want to bother Tom, and then just take pictures of him through the glass window.
Yes.
And it was. I feel like he was like in a fish tank. It was pretty cool.
It was funny.
It was. I'd giggle every time.
Yeah.
So now you're talking about the food trucks. So I want to eat Hot Box's pizza every year. So this was their critical chip pizza.
Yes.
All right. Let me read what's in this. We've got salsa verde, fiesta corn with beans, mozzarella, jalapenos, a little ranch drizzle, and crushed Doritos on top. All right.
Yes.
And I was like, I got to try this. I try it every year. And I even got one for my friend Dana. Dana and I ate it first, and Tom and I ate it later.
Yeah.
And everyone said it's better than they thought it would be.
Hey, there you go.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is all, you're not going to walk away thinking that was the best pizza I've ever had. But you're like, I'm glad I ate that.
Yeah.
And it was really good. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yes.
So, all right. So the food trucks were really good. Also, through that, Pinball Alley gets better and better every year.
I felt like this year they made it bigger.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. And that's kind of like when you walk from the convention center to the food trucks or to Lucas Oil, you pass all these pinball games. Last year, we bought a pinball card the last day. This year, I did it earlier so we could play in the morning when there's no one there and you could hear the music. Like 6 a.m. go down there, and I played a lot of pinball. I was really bad at pinball there.
Well, at 6 a.m., I think you would be.
So it was really rough.
Yes.
But so anyway, Pinball Alley was a big one. One thing I will notice was Thursday this year was busier than Thursdays in the past.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they had sold out of every type of badge.
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
Yes, which normally they sell out some, but they have some available, like Sundays available.
Yeah.
And Saturday is usually the go-to day.
Yes.
But this year, Thursday was just, people weren't, I don't think, prepared. It was just packed.
Thursday was insane, for sure.
And it's always busy. I did realize that, made me realize that Gen Con is not the con for everyone.
No.
Right? Because it was insane this year. Over 70, I think they broke records, 72,000 people, whatever it was, the capacity. But, because you're walking around and there are times when we're walking even to the food trucks outside and it's just this Disney wall of people that you're shoulder to shoulder. And you're like...
It's like a Disney firework.
Right. It's like...
wall of people.
And it's not like that all the time.
No.
Okay?
No.
Just if you go the wrong place at the wrong time. So there are places you can spread out if you do start to do these other rooms that these places have.
Yes.
Then it's it spreads out a bit. So if you do go and you don't like those crowds, I encourage you to kind of check the other rooms. You know,
I was reading on that Wednesday. I went through the exhibitor book, right? And I noticed that a lot of the hotels had some stuff. And my plan was to walk over to the JW because they had like a anime cafe that had like boba tea and,
See, that's cool.
And it looked really cool. My plan was to get there. I never made it over there. So I'm hoping they have that next year.
Yep.
But I do like how all the hotels have something. So I do really like that. I think that's great. I think Lucas Oil too. You can head down to Lucas Oil. There's not that many people down that area yet.
Yep.
They're working there. They're working their way down there. But I think that's another nice place where you can go and still be part of Gen Con, but not have the wall-to-wall people.
Right. The artist alley type of thing, because there's an art like area there in the main exhibit hall, but on the way down there, they have these...
Which is genius of them, because it used to be just an empty corridor. But now there is like 2 rows of little artists booths, and that was phenomenal. Really enjoyed walking down there. I walked down there by accident. Some friends were like, "Hey, before we go to the food trucks, let's head down here." And I was like, "Okay," but no, I'm so glad I did. I didn't realize it was down there actually.
Yeah, I agree. It's fantastic. So and then we bought different artwork and stuff. We got this John Williams or Tom got. I'm gonna get it later because I really like it. John Williams, producer, and then instead of the orchestra is played. Every instrument is played by some other character from his movies.
Yes.
Like E.T., Indiana Jones, the guy from Jaws. And first of all, I had to look up the fact that John Williams has done...
Everything.
Correct.
He has done everything. Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty incredible. So anyway, seeing those artists down there is one of my favorite parts.
There was also a great little tea place. It was a 3D printed place down there. I know CCal Games were down there too.
Yep. With Flock Together.
You
talk about teas. We got a lot of teas there, hot teas and stuff. But I got a Dragon's Breath, which is a spicy style tea, right?
It is.
I had it last night, and I thought, I wonder what a spicy tea is. I like spicy. I like tea. I'm not sure if I like spicy tea.
Really?
Because it was very odd. It was called Dragon's Breath.
It was called Dragon's Breath, yes.
But it was very unique.
Yeah, the flavors on it, it was by Druid Garden Tea Company.
Yeah.
The ingredients listed, I was like, I wonder how they all work together. Yeah, they're very interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, a little bit of ginger in there with a hint of pepper, they say. Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. All right, so something also, this is a D&D is as big as ever.
Yeah,
it was
for sure.
50th anniversary, so there was a lot of D&D things going on. Mm-hmm. We were walking back at one point, and it's funny how you look into rooms, and we walk by with a group of people, and then I'm like, hold on, there was something going on. And I back up, and the entire Scooby-Doo gang was on stage at a table playing D&D.
Yes.
And they were dressed like Scooby-Doo and all these people, and I'm like... I am not sure what's happening in there, but it is glorious.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
I know.
So,
we were on our way to something, too, and so it wasn't like we could walk in and go see it. I was like, oh, man, so
neat. So one of the things, not Gencon related, but Buc-ee's is fantastic. Finally went there.
I was sad that you weren't able to drive back and go back to Buc-ee's because I love their coffee
espresso beans.
Espresso beans. Yes, those are amazing.
So anyway, but now you also did some kid stuff. There was some potion making and all that type of stuff.
The CGE room for their new game, The Little Alchemist, had potion making, which was like this you would go into this room and you would select these ingredients, put them in the cauldron, and they were like a physical, like a little toy toad, and I think there was a mushroom and a pepper or something like that, and you'd put them in this cauldron that had like some smoke coming out. They had a fog machine in it. It was great, right? And then the lady would say, make you repeat this sentence. I don't remember what it was. And then you would make a potion. It was fantastic. I loved how they embraced it. It was great. I didn't
role played.
Yeah, I didn't actually get a chance to see or demo Little Alchemist, but now I'm curious to go check it out. They did a great job. Yeah, I do want to go have a look at that game for sure.
When they do creativity.
Yeah, I loved that. Yeah.
Now, I was looking for dice for a D&D thing, and as I was walking with Z back there, I saw the Baron let's see, it's called Baron Smelly Bones, right?
Okay.
So Z had backed these guys on Kickstarter, and he has some dice smell like pumpkin. And when they came in the studio, I'm like, oh, those are pretty cool. And it's like they had some other ones. So I'm looking through all the ones that smell like things.
Yeah.
And he had one called Cemetery Soil. And I'm like, what are these? And he's like, well, they smell like dirt. I'm like, I don't really know what dirt smells like. I opened up, I sniffed them. I'm like, that is what dirt smells like.
Correct. I had them in my carry-on, and I didn't realize you had packed them. I had packed them in there. I didn't know what they were. I just thought they were dice, right? And so I remember opening my carry-on and smelling dirt, and I was like, what? How did I get dirt in here? It was crazy.
It is. I have got these, and I love these so much.
They smell amazing. Like the smell is not bad. It's a great smell.
Yeah, it smells like dirt, like
correct.
soil. I'm like, how do you nail that?
I know they did a great job.
So these are probably like my favorite dice. By the way. So I think they still sell them, but yeah, they have like really normal flavors. They have like Mummy's Curse. They smell like a tomb and all this stuff, lavender. But the soil. I mean, come on. Soil.
You can't beat that. That's awesome. One thing I want to say is Cut Hollow was great as always.
I love Cut Hollow.
Yeah, that was a nice way. Sometimes Julian and I, when we were overwhelmed with crowds, we would go plunk at Cut Hollow.
That's a thing.
That was really nice. We could just sit there, build a little card tower, and then leave. You're in your own little world. People avoid you, like when they're not on top of you because there are cards everywhere. But it was really great. That was a nice thing.
I agree.
Nice way to chill.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So then, also we did the cosplay parade every year.
Yes.
And this time, We actually pulled Z in to help.
We did.
He was on vlog duty for the channel. So I'm like, hey, do you watch Cosplay Parade? He's like, no. I was like, well, my family gets there 45 minutes early. So we pulled him in the front.
We did. We had a front row spot, by the way.
Which we do every year because we get there early. And
that's a secret. Don't tell anyone.
And so Z is sitting there, and I'm like, I can't wait to not only watch the Cosplay Parade, to watch Z watch the Cosplay Parade.
Yes.
And it is one of those things that my buddy and I, Dana, always watch every year. So we know what's going to happen. But it's so funny because this Cosplay Parade, the kids love it.
Yes.
First off. But Z turned around and goes, that really ebbs and flows, doesn't it? And that is what really sums it up. I mean, I love these people in there because some people are just like, they're there because they've worked on their costumes all year.
Yes.
Other ones are just there.
Because they're just wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's like you will have like all the Marios were together. You have one guy who like works on his Mario costume all year. Then another guy who just happens to have a Mario t-shirt and decides to walk in there.
And can go, Yahoo!
Yes. Yeah. And it's like, man, it ebbs and flows.
Yes, for sure. I did like
it's so unique.
They had the two people from last year stealing the magic cards.
Yes.
That was probably one, but they have so many great costumes.
They're so creative, you know?
So creative.
So I love to watch that. Even the little things that are thrown together, there's some creativity behind them.
Yeah,
I'm like,
for sure.
That's clever.
Yes.
You know? So I love the cosplay parade. I mean,
Me
the cosplayers are great, but doing their parade and walking through,
I love that so much.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And our favorite cosplayer, Rachel, was there. She was Anna this time, I think.
She was Anna, and she was also Rapunzel.
Yes. So, yeah. So anyway, the cosplay parade is fantastic.
Yep.
Then found this out. We're at, I forgot which booth, and Phil Walker Harding. I never really met him before. We ended up, we talked for a bit. And you were standing there, and you heard him, and you're like, hey, you're from, in Australia you're from? And I had talked to him for a couple minutes, and he's like, oh, Sydney. And I'm like, you're from Australia? He's like, yeah. And then you're like, yeah? I'm like, well, I didn't know that.
No.
Why don't people know that? And I went back and asked Chris Winnie, I'm like, why don't people know that he's from Australia? And they're like, well, everyone knows he's from Australia. And you guys talk, and you guys are like from a couple streets over.
Yeah, where he lives is right next to where I worked. It was crazy.
That's insane.
Yep.
So,
I knew exactly where he was from, for sure.
So we were talking games, and all of a sudden they start talking Australia, and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening here. So Australia, is that like a rolling right? I don't know what's happening there. But I would have guessed Egypt, honestly, if he was from somewhere, because he has so many Egyptian
We
games.
did talk about Egypt a little bit, too.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
You did.
We talked about that.
Yes, two Australians talking about Egypt. You ever want to have fun? You just sit into that conversation. That was really fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It's like, tut. And then they start saying all these Egyptian
things.
words and Australian words and things I don't know. So I was really out of my element on both ends of the spectrum on this. But that was really cool. He's such a nice guy, and he was there signing autographs.
That was awesome.
He was Wrath of Fire Mountain. I think he was pushed at that point. But he's like a celebrity there and just a good guy. Also, BGG Hot Game Room I went to last year for the first time. This year I went to as well. If you're, again, you talk about how packed this place is. If you're looking for somewhere, if you want to make this a con to play games, before I used to say it's not really possible. But it is. If you do BGG Hot Game Room, this is great, by the way, because you get a little ticket for, I don't know how many hours you can be in there, but their library is all the hot games. Some unreleased.
Yeah.
Some are just released. So they have so many hot games that you can grab and take to your table.
Yeah.
So this is where we played Rolling Realms Redux
the
last night, and I played a couple other ones. But this is great. So if you're going to Gen Con, or even if you go to Gen Con and you've never experienced this is a great room you need to check into.
Our friends Bradley Madison, who I'm going to start talking about them a little bit more.
Yeah.
They had actually got, when they were doing their events, several times to go to the BGG Hot Game Room. And I think maybe once a day they would go over there and play some games. And that was fantastic. It was great.
And they did something that gamers, I don't think you knew this was possible, but you can play a game before you buy it. I didn't know the legality of that.
I didn't know that was possible either.
I put a call into the police, and I'm like, is this legal? Can I play this before I buy it? Or do I just buy it and then be sad later?
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't think you can do that.
Yes.
But apparently it is legal in Indianapolis to play a game before you buy it. Nowhere else.
No.
So just
only
Indy.
Only Indy and only at Gen Con, right?
Yes.
Okay,
so,
right, noted.
So guys, that's the only place you do it. Do not take legal advice from this podcast.
Yes.
So anyway, BGG Hot Game. If you haven't Hot Game Room, if you haven't done it, it's real. It does sell out, but it's fantastic to do. So now then, finally, we're going to talk about AEG Big Game Night.
Yes.
Which you did again.
I did it again with Bradley and Madison again, and some other friends too. We all did it on. This is Friday night. This is every Friday night. This is where you'll find me. They always play 3 games, and then those 3 games normally you are able to get them when you leave, a little bag of them. So that was awesome. So the first game we played was Nocturne. Hang on, I got a cough. This was a cute little. It was on BGG. It describes it as abstract strategy, which is not something I normally like. But I did really like this. It's kind of a little bidding. You're outbidding each other to be able to get the card. But this game, it was a little bit puzzly, but there's also, you got to get some set collections and get points. But I had fun playing this game. I know some people did not. This is not their cup of tea. They didn't really like this game. But I thought this was a great game. I really liked it. Yeah, it's in my bag over in Miami right now. So otherwise, we would have played this. But I am excited to play this game again, for sure.
And you get some good ones from that one. Okay.
Absolutely. So that was the first game.
Yep.
And then the second game we played was a little lighter, and it was Truffle Shuffle,
Fun
which
name.
was you got a pyramid of cards, and you're pulling the cards down, and you're gathering them, set collection points, and then you have to play them kind of like poker. Like you're trying to get like a straight. I don't know all the poker words. Thankfully, and this is what I loved about the game, they had a player aid that had I know, right? Crazy. So if this game didn't have a player aid, it would have been really difficult. But they had a player aid of what you needed to collect and how many points that was worth. And so you would kind of be going around trying to get the cards that you needed to get the most points. But it was, I think we all really enjoyed this game a lot.
Okay.
It was lighter. We played it pretty quickly. We just kind of went through it. I know some people took a long time playing this game, but we kind of went through it pretty quickly, and it was great. I enjoyed this one. And the pyramid of cards, you do that 3 times. So there's 3 rounds of it. Okay. Excuse me. And then the last game, which I was so excited to play, was Cascadia Rolling Hills.
Oh,
yeah. This is Bradley Madison's first rolling, right? It's actually a flipping right, but there are dice that you're rolling as well. My biggest complaint about this game is that you each have your own dice, and then in the middle there are 4 dice, right, that you are all rolling for the group. But there's one dice that lets you have like special bonuses, and it is the exact same color as the other 3 dice. And so it's very annoying. If you don't separate it, you have to go through all the dice and figure out which one is the special dice. So I wish they had made that dice a different color.
Yeah.
We just rolled it separately so we could keep track of it a little and moved it to the side so it was easy to keep track of. But it can adjust things on it. You do need to keep track of that dice. That would be my biggest thing. I'm excited to play Rolling Rivers. I bought that game. That is over in Miami right now.
Of course.
So I would like to be able to compare them and talk about them. But no, this game I really enjoy as a roll and write. Talk about cascading. Wow. There's lots of cascading.
I love me some cascading.
There's lots of cascading here. There's lots of like, oh, I've done this, now I can do this. It was I really, really enjoyed this game a lot. I thought it was really fun. Bradley and Madison, like I said, never played a game before. They enjoyed it too. So it was really good. It's not like Cascadia in terms of in Cascadia you're building up that hexagonal grid. You're not doing that per se, but you are kind of marking stuff off, and that is hexagonal shape. That's kind of where, and the animals are kind of the same. That's kind of where the similarities lie. Yeah. But other than that, no, as a roller man, I think this was really fun. I did really enjoy this game a lot.
And so AEG Big Game Night, just as big of a hit as ever.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Good.
And I feel like this time it's been in the same room now the last 3 years.
Right.
And now they know how to work that room. So, you know how sometimes they had problems getting people in, and if you've heard about that in the past, I don't think that's a problem anymore.
That's good, because this was Friday night, right?
It's Friday night, correct.
So I think I had a dinner that night. So
Yes.
I enjoy that a lot. So if you look for something, again, that's another place you play games, because they have these DMs or game managers, I guess.
Yeah.
GMs to go around as help. Mm-hmm. So that's
for sure
interesting. All right.
Yeah.
So that is it. That is our
Gencon
post Gencon episode.
Yes.
Whew, that was a lot.
Yes.
So we honestly thought this would be a shorter episode, but it ended up being not short. But we are staying on track, folks. Every couple of weeks, we will give you guys a podcast, and our goal is to get a lot of these played by next podcast.
Let's hope
and
so.
let you guys know our thoughts.
I'm hoping this next coming weekend we can, play some games.
Yes. So if you guys want to Gen
Yes.
Con, email us at show@mainlygames.com.
Yes.
And let us know what you guys thought about it. Also, you can subscribe to the podcast, and we are now on Podbean, Spotify, Apple. We're on YouTube.
Yes.
We're everywhere, so you can do it and shoot us a message. Let us know any of these games you played, anything you want to know from Gen Con that was released. So we'll be playing a lot of those coming up.
Yeah.
So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in.
It was awesome.
And we will see you later.
See you next time.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Bye.